Hello friends, welcome to another video. We are starting a new series of videos where I will be playing and explaining my moves to you guys that are starting on chess or maybe are already on chess for some time and struggling to grow in comprehension. Maybe you are playing chess a lot but you are not seeing growth. Well, let's go together. So we do have lots of bots on chess.com for several levels. Like for beginners, we have 15 bots, and then intermediate and advanced, and so on forth, so forth and so on. So we're going to play a series where every video is going to be against a different bot, and we will be exploring, okay, some concepts and. Yeah, let's start right over. So here you can see I am a chess player on chess.com. I am also a coach and also a national master from Brazil. And it's a pleasure to be giving this series. And let's start against Martin, which is the most beginner bot on the platform. Okay, so let's start. Oh, there are some comments here, so maybe we should change the layout so you can see the comments here. All right, so I think this screen is great. Which one is better? I think this one is great. Great layout. All right, so let's start. Which move to choose? We have lots of moves to do, several pieces and to move. So you could develop this knight if you want. Our target here, guys, in the beginning of the game is to protect our king, right? So we need to castle, which is a special move, but to castle, in order to castle, we need to move those two pieces. And this is something we want to do, okay? So another thing we want to do is fight for the center of the board. This is the center of the board. Why fighting for the center is so important? Because the pieces have more activity from the center to the rest of the chessboard, okay? So you gotta look at the center as the most strategical place of the game, okay? Whoever controls the center is able to control more space, and that's what chess is about. Controlling space, piece activity, safety of your king, cooperation between pawns and pieces and all that, okay? So let's go on. And in order to move this bishop, so this is you need to understand the logic of the first moves. In order so we want to get those two pieces out of here and castle, right, and protect our king. So we don't want our king here lying in the center of the board. He's exposed to many attacks. And so if you want to develop this bishop, it is very natural that we want to move this pawn and not this pawn. You could, but let's let it for more intermediate lessons, okay? It's completely possible to open like this, especially if you're going for those structures of fianchetto. It's completely okay and fine and very good. But let's focus here first for beginners, all right, on the center of the board. So we're going to move this pawn. Don't be afraid to move only one, and we can defend our pawn here. It's very important to grab, okay? It's important to play with energy chess. So we're going to grab the center and occupy the center. That's what we're doing. Okay, so he did the same. And remember, guys, we want to develop those guys. So which piece we're going to develop first? Well, technically speaking, you could do this. It's called a bishop opening. You could play something like this. But for the sake of, you know, understanding and principles and all that, we should move the knight first. It's not that it's a best move or something like that, but we need to understand the core concepts first before you can improvise and do different things, like before you can go to a king's pawn, all right, so king's gambit, or Nizovich, or maybe the pawn center gambits, or more advanced stuff, okay? Before going for all that, we're doing the basics. And the basics is you develop a piece, and you are attacking a pawn, and you are preparing to castle. Wow, this is a perfect move, all right? And now he protected the pawn. A better move would have been knight to c6, which develops a piece and also protects the pawn. But okay, this is not a bad move. And now what we want to do, we want to remove the bishop from here. We want to develop the bishop, and then we want to protect our king. Another possibility is also to strike the center immediately, which is a very strong move. If I was playing the game like for real in a tournament, I would play this move. So it's very good. And we can play, but now if you want, but also have in mind that this is also a perfect playable move here, a good move. And So you don't have to really rush to castle, but you want to do that before the move 7, before the move 10, okay? And preferably if you're starting on chess on this side of the board, the king, all right, the king side castling, not the queen side castling. We're gonna let this for more advanced series. Okay, so let's not too rush, like we don't need to move immediately those pieces. Let's try to strike the center first, okay? So we are doing that. And now he protected with the pawn to f6, which is a very bad move. And the reason why this is a very bad move, like it seems logical, like at the first sight, for people that are starting chess, it's not really easy to see that this is a bad move. So let's explain why. Now the king's safety is getting compromised, okay? Now the king is severely exposed on many diagonals, and this is not good. I mean, if it's only one diagonal here that is exposed, okay, there are many pieces that can cover this diagonal, but now this is starting to get bad for the king. And by the way, he's not developing any piece at all, and this is bad because the king is going to be in the center for much more time, and the pieces are not having activity over the chessboard, okay? So let's try to explore that. One idea here to have in mind, which is possible, is to capture here and see what he's going to do. Like if he captures with this pawn, we could exchange queens and we have a slightly better position. We don't want to do that. We want to develop, we want to keep developing our pieces, okay? So let's keep developing. Yeah, let's keep developing. I think bishop to c4. And now we do have many pieces developed and we are ready to castle. Now he started a very a beginner style attack. So should I be afraid of this? Now this move is intimidating, right? You see this move and you say, okay, I'm going to castle and I'm going to be attacked. But don't worry. You shouldn't worry at this point because you are developing your pieces and he's not. So you keep that in mind, okay? There are many possibilities here. One very interesting is to capture. If he captures here, like he's not able to castle anymore. It's not that white is winning, but he's probably with a slight advantage. And if he captures with this one, maybe there's some tactics going on here. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe there is some tactics going on. This pawn is going to be weak. Don't worry about this long calculations line. Okay, let's not go for this right now. Okay, let's focus on the concepts, okay? And by the way, this is probably not going to work. This was probably not going to work. So, yeah, okay. So he played this move. Let's keep developing. We don't need to castle right now. We can keep developing, but we are going to castle. Like I said, this is move 4. And we're going to castle very soon. Let's keep developing, right? For the sake of concept exploration. And now he's going wild, like ultra wild. And this pawn is kind of overloaded. And we could try to explore that by doing this. Now we do have some tactics going on. Because he developed no piece, we can start exploring the king. And there's one concept here. When you have developed your pieces and your opponent haven't, you need to go for a pawn rupture on the center. All right, why that? Because you open lines for the attack. Let's go for this. So let's open lines now. It's time to open lines. And now he recaptured. Now there are some things going on. We could, if we want, immediately to play this, because if king captures, we take the queen. So this is a very interesting tactics, not so complex, and we can do it right now. Of course, he can play this, right? So he's not forced to capture the piece, all right? So he's not forced to capture the bishop. And what can we do next? I mean, this is scary, but this is not doing really strong damage. We could do it, okay, just to make sure, just to try the opponent to make a mistake. I don't like those kinds of moves that you're hoping your opponent make a mistake. But probably it's a good move because he loses a tempo, he's not developing anymore, and then you know, and then we capture the knight. But I don't know. He's going to exchange pieces, and our attack is gone. So if you want to keep the attack, maybe another idea is to play this. And I know it's hard to hold yourself when you do have some some tactics like this that could work, you know. But you better don't bet on the opponent's play, a bad play, because it could be bad in the future. I mean, let's try to hold the advantage here. We do have more developed pieces. We don't want to exchange queens right now. Trust me, we don't want to do that, because then we cannot explore this weakness here. So queen e2 for me is the best move here. And if you asked me when I was learning chess, I would definitely say, wow, why didn't you go for this? But okay, king e7. White is definitely better, but we're going to exchange queens now, because for sure, because I need to do something with the bishop, or I need to exchange the queens, or if I go back with the bishop, or if I take the knight, it doesn't matter. He's going to take here. And then my advantage, poof, is gone. Do you understand it? So we don't want that. We want to keep our advantage. Let's keep the advantage, all right? So now he's trying to develop his pieces, and we are ready to castle. It seems intimidating to castle when the position is like this. So if you feel like you're insecure, you can always keep developing your pieces, and you keep it flexible. You keep it flexible. Okay, so he just blundered a full piece. So this is very common for people that are starting chess. So this move, like he's moving a rook, he's trying to activate his rook. Not the best way to play like this, because now he's hanging a full piece here. And we want to take advantage of that. When that happens, you know, don't rush to move here. Even if you had that idea, oh, okay, I'm going to castle. But pay attention to what you're... Because sometimes we are so focused on what we are doing, on what we want to do, that we kind of ignore, when we're starting on chess, we kind of ignore what the opponent is doing. But this is another very important lesson here. Like, always mind what your opponent is doing, even for, like, to defend yourself and also to attack. So when he's playing such a move, like, take advantage of it. Like, what is it threatening? Is a question you gotta do it yourself. What is it threatening? And what is it weakening? Okay, so you make both questions to yourself. What is it threatening? What is it weakening? So what is it weakening? The knight. Take it. And go back. Like, I don't have to attack here. I don't have to play queen c4 and going for checkmate. Although now, looking again, it's probably not bad. But we don't have to do it, okay? We're a piece up. So just calm down. We're a piece up. We don't have to rush to checkmate. Unless it's forced to checkmate. But here, I don't know, queen e7 just holds everything. And now my bishop is lacking squares. Maybe it can get trapped in the future. Maybe it can get trapped. Oh, we don't have to rush. We don't want that. We are completely dominating the game. Now queen e7 was played. And now we can castle. Let's play the long castle here. So we are giving our opponent no chance. No chance. Okay, now he wants to start an attack and all that. Let's just, you know, improve the position of the knight. Look at how the moves come easy now. Come easy. Now we're attacking c7. Now we got the queen. Because now the opponent is not finding the best moves. He doesn't have that many pieces. And now it's much easier for us to find those moves. Okay? So I can grab the pawn with a check, which is also a very good move here. And we can take the queen. This is more advanced because it's possible in this position because the king has nowhere to go. Only this square, and then we can go here. Check, and then the king has to move again to here, and then we could do something like that. But let's just take the queen. Just take the queen. It's the most valuable piece. It has a value, a considered value of 9. Of course, on more advanced lessons, we're going to talk about the dynamic values of the pieces. But to start, it's worth 9 points, and the knight is worth 3 points. So we got a lot of material now, and let's keep going. Let's keep it simple. Let's take this pawn. This pawn is protected, right? It's important. Always consider that what your opponent's gonna play next. He's gonna play this move next. And then we go back. Then we grab the pawn. Is it worth it? Well, in this case, why not? I mean, probably there is a better move to think about. Maybe we want to double the rooks here and activate the other rook, which is not playing. Maybe it's better than grabbing a pawn, but it seems like a free snack. Just make sure it's a free snack, because sometimes it looks like a free snack and you're hanging something. Let's go for the free snack. And let's go back. Like, the bishop is already satisfied with the free snack, and we just go back. Okay, now he played this. What did he weaken? What is weakened now? This pawn is not protected anymore, and there is an X-ray here. All right. So this is something that comes to mind immediately. Another thing is, can I capture the rook? Well, I will be weaknessing the protection of this pawn because we're going to exchange. So I can capture, but I gotta be careful about this pawn. Okay, just need to be careful. It doesn't mean I have to immediately protect it because there are some traps going on, and just have that in mind. Okay, let's go for more material. We are going for more material. And now I could set up a trap. I mean, if he takes, I can check and get the rook. We can set up this trap, okay? But if you want to play safe, just play king b1 or a3, and you're safe. Just be careful, some sacrifices and all that are possible here. And yeah, I mean, I'm trying to find an instructive move here. This rook is not playing. Let's bring it to the game, okay? So I think this move is fine. So we are preparing to double the rooks. Now be careful, because this is not a trap anymore. Because if I do this check, now bishop e6, and probably I'm getting mated here, because I take the queen away and then I'm getting mated. So be careful. Always be very, very careful what your opponent is threatening, okay? So let's stop this attack once for all. King to b1. And now if bishop to e6, we can play b3 and we are fine. Okay, so now he went for some desperate move. Let's just capture it before it gets dangerous. So we are just grabbing material. And as you can see, like, he's almost losing now. At this point, we just give a check. And it comes with an attack here. We could attack the bishop now. Let's go for this. Now the moves come pretty easy, like, because we are almost checkmating our opponent. So let's just do it. This is gonna be very quick. Yeah, like he's completely giving up all these pieces, but we don't want that. We want to checkmate the king, and we are about to do it in a few moves. Maybe 2 more moves. 1 and 2. I guess it's mate. All right, guys, so that's it. This was, I hope it was a very instructive game for people that are starting on chess. Let's take a look at the review here and see if we made any bad decision. No, actually, we played very accurately. There was a mistake here, a critical one. Let's see what it was. So the computer here said there was a chance to immediately grab this piece. And of course, I could have gone for this, but I didn't want to overgo on the calculations and all like that. So of course we have those kinds of lines because we are opening that attack on h5 and the king's exposed, and we could go for checkmating ideas. But what am I doing if I'm showing this to beginners and they are not able to calculate that from start, and they are just gonna think that this lesson was like not practical? And when I was starting on chess and I saw lessons that, oh, you should have done this, and then there's very complex calculations, I was most of times very sad because I was thinking that I wasn't able to do that. And it's not the case. We are all able to do that, but there's a perfect timing for that. And maybe sometimes it's not when you are just starting over, okay? So don't worry about accuracies on the reports and all that when you're starting. Just have in mind to always know what you're doing. This is the most important. Even if you're wrong, you must have the feeling of knowing what you're doing. You had that idea, and if that idea was wrong, then we need to look at that and correct it, okay? And try to understand which concept is wrong about that, okay? So don't worry. Don't worry about not finding complex calculations when you are starting chess, okay? So that's it for today. I hope you have enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for your audience, and see you next time.